This is Truth Be Told.
That not only are there reptilians here,
new evidence of UFO fleets.
We were close to nuclear war.
To help you transform so that you can live your highest truth.
We're not being told just because we're not ready for it.
Radio stations of frequency, vibrational.
I was a homicide detective with LAPD.
UFOs increase. Visitations. It's Friday the 13th. The closer we get to Halloween, the spirits start to awake. Well, today we have good witch, psychic medium, ghost investigator, the one and only Patti Negri is on the show. We're going to talk about what is Friday the 13th? Where did it come from? How do we prepare for the Halloween season? And how do we go into haunted mansions and haunted spaces with protection? We're going to find that out today on this week's episode of Truth Be Told. I'm Tony Sweet with Truth Be Told. Please welcome to the Truth Be Told studios for the Halloween season regular, Patti Negri. Hey!
Thank you so much. Whee! I love it. Best audience ever.
Ever.
Their
they
studio
showed up
crowd
just
is
for
good.
you.
I know, it's good.
For some reason, when I say Patti Negri's going to be here, they come running.
They do. It's like, thank you. Sit down. It's okay.
Well, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're 22 years
22
old.
again. In my vampire years, I hear I'm 290, though. I don't know. No, I love it. Being born on October 13th.
That's
Every
crazy.
7 years or so,
Yeah.
I get it on the Friday the 13th, and it's always been the luckiest day. And this it shows it's the same thing. I get to be with you. It's lucky. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky to have you here. And first of all, Friday the 13th means a lot to some people in our genre.
Yes.
And I mean, even growing up before I was even in this genre, Friday the 13th was a significance for a lot of people. But can you kind of touch on your expertise on Friday the 13th? Where did that come from? Anyway,
I don't really know how the Friday the 13th come. I
Right.
certainly do know the 13th thing.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, and I will have to look into the Friday thing. I may have known, and it goes in and out of your
Well.
brain when you're over 22.
right.
No, honestly, almost anything that people say, 13 is a super powerful number. But the way to look at stuff is almost anything that people say is bad luck is just powerful. Literally, the number 13, it's powerful. It's not good, it's not bad. You can do either with it. Breaking a mirror, same superstition. It's not good or bad, it's powerful. A broken mirror could be the most protective thing you have at your house in a thing. Like a black cat crossing your path, same thing. There's a cat. Walking under a ladder. These are all things that are, because that's changing through realms. They're all powerful things. You choose if they're good or bad by both your belief system, your intent. So make them good. And Friday the 13th, I've never known anybody who's had a really bad luck day on it. Even if they don't have big belief systems, we just like to put labels on things.
Do you think that it was more religious because maybe it was a pagan, thought or theory or something? Or
maybe,
don't
but
know.
it's so weird because Friday in reality is a positive day. It's a day of Venus. It's a day of love.
and it's the last day of the week
It's
for
the last
work
day
week.
of the week for work week. It's like I have the weekend ahead. Let's go out tonight. So I don't know how, but I will look that up.
Actually, I just looked it up.
You
It
did?
says
What is it?
Friday the 13th combines of two taboos that come from the Bible.
See.
See, this is what we're just talking about. According to Stevens, based on the story of the Last Supper of Jesus, 13 people were seated at the table, and it happened on a Thursday. Well, I don't know where Friday comes, but he was arrested that evening and crucified the next day on Friday. So 13th is associated with the bad event.
Okay. See, again, they had to stretch to
That
get
was,
there.
I was going to say, that seems
They
like
had
a
to
stretch
stretch.
to
It's
me.
Thursday, but Friday he
sounded
fell
better.
down. It sounded Thursday the 13th just doesn't. Because even if it was their dinner, 13 people at the table, they probably had people serving them. There was probably 14. There was
Well, Mary
probably 12.
Magdalene was there then.
There you go. She didn't count. But again, people oftentimes, especially religion, wants to control us.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I just don't like anything that's fear-based control
I don't
over
either.
empowerment-based control, personally. But that's just me.
And so, growing up, I did hear about the breaking of the mirror and the black cat, even though we had a black cat growing up. So I honestly, I switched it and thought, well, if I own a black cat, apparently I must be lucky. And then also, like I said, walking under the ladder. Even to this day, I will catch myself and I go, oh, and I'll walk around. It is funny how we get that instilled in our
Yeah, we do.
mind. And it said it's a bad thing, so don't. You're
So
like,
don't do it.
Right.
And if you think it's a bad thing, you've just made it a bad thing.
Right.
If you think it's a good thing, it's a good thing because we create our own realities.
Right.
But in Europe, a black cat crossing your path is good luck. So again, depends on where you live.
True,
Too.
true.
That's just a very American superstition.
Well, and in America also, because I find pennies and nickels and dimes a lot just walking, and there's a lot of people will see it and they just walk by. But every time I pick it up and I say, "Thank you, Angel," because it's like my thing is like, first of all, I'm a penny richer.
Yeah, exactly.
And second of all, it's like if the universe gave me this and it put it in my path, why not accept it and thank them for it?
Exactly. I do. And spirits do like to give pennies, especially pennies and dimes. Pennies are the fairy realm because they're copper or
that's
kind of
cool.
copper. And so they like copper. And then dimes, there's something magical about dimes as well. Not that you shouldn't pick up nickels or quarters
Right.
or anything else along the way, but they are. I always pick them up too. I actually, if they're heads up, because, oh, wait, that's lucky. I pick them up. If it's heads down, I might pick it up and toss it for somebody else gets it. or
see, I keep
or
it.
leave it heads up so somebody else really gets a heads up. But yeah,
I still
it
take
is.
it.
It's abundance. I'm a penny richer. I give what's given to me. I take. I hold versus walk by opportunity.
This is the Halloween season. Patty always comes back during Halloween season. I love her for taking the time out of her day. Like on her birthday, she just finished a seance. And so, doing this, I really appreciate it. But it's a busy time of the year for you. I mean, you're always busy. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, I'm flying here, I'm flying there, But do you feel as a psychic medium, do you consider yourself a good witch or white? Because I know there's different
I use the word good witch because I like Wizard of Oz and I have the Glenda dress.
I'm a good witch.
A good witch or a bad witch. And I also, white has so many weird connotations in the
Right.
world. Are you white? Well,
Right.
I'm so white that I don't want to be white. And I like the word good better because good
I
means
think-
a lot of things. I am really good at what I do. I do positive magic. I don't do manipulative magic, but I don't like the word white. I mean, if somebody say, are you white witch? Yeah, I am. But I like the term good witch better.
Because even in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf the Gray, and then he became Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
Which I thought, he was even more powerful than he was when he was gray.
Yeah, and on good magic, bad magic, it's not to me like, oh, you're going to burn in hell, this or that. But you have to live in the world you create. Yeah. I like to live in a happy, joyous, love world.
And she does.
On and off camera. On and off camera. I really do. But if I sat here doing negative magic and I want to send a curse or send a hex to you, it's like, I live in a world of curses and hexes now. So I send to you and you could send it back to me. If I don't even live in that world, we do create the world we live in, and it's beautiful. Not that I can't and haven't needed to on occasion do protective or defensive magic, but I've been able to get everything I've ever wanted from positive magic. So why would you go negative?
Right.
Why?
Yeah. That's just either greed or just misinformed.
Yeah. And the more and more people I know, I have no judgments. I have friends who work in dark magic, but you get crankier and crankier. You start to get angrier and angrier. They tend to get a little paranoid. I'm like,
that's no fun.
I think I'm happier. I think I'm happier than them.
Who wants to be paranoid?
I know. They're going to get you. Ah.
Well, we talk about the Halloween season and the realms start to
Ooh, the veil is thin.
The veil's thinner. Is that true?
Completely true.
Yeah.
The reason, okay, Halloween, how we know Halloween and the tradition of it, dressing up and the candy and putting what we put as pumpkins out now. In the olden days, in Europe, they didn't have pumpkins. They put turnips. They carved turnips.
I did see that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
to keep the spirits away because
nobody
it
likes
is,
turnips.
and they're harder to carve, I'm sure. But the veil is the thinnest of all the year, and so to scare away bad spirits or scary spirits, you put on funny masks and go put up the things. In reality, in my religion, in the pagan religion, in witchcraft, it is called Samhain, which is, it's like the new year, and it's the time because it is the veil is thin, to celebrate our ancestors. So that, like Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, in the more Latin culture, this is the time we will put up pictures of grandma and grandpa and tell stories and light candles. That's what about. It's the horsemen go out and collect the dead. So we do beautiful rituals around bonfires where we say the names of our beloved dead. It's beautiful, and the veil is thin. So now is the time that more and more paranormal activity is going to happen. More and more, wait, was that moving in the other room stuff? And that they can communicate with us and us with them.
I'm getting ready. I was telling you before that next April, I'm going for a 2-week Europe trip, which it's been forever since I've been to Europe. In fact, we're flying into London.
Yay.
We're going to take the train to Paris.
Yay.
Flying to Prague, then Vienna, and then Budapest, and then back to London and spend a day or two. One of the reasons is because when my mother was alive, and this is really kind of honoring her, her father was from, her father's parents were from Bohemia, when it was Bohemia. Yeah. And so I want to go back and kind of see where my ancestors came from. So this is kind of an ancestor trip. I'm not going there to go party. I'm going there to actually see sights and actually look for family and other things. So when you do something like you said to honoring your ancestors, how important, because most people, when you say ancestors, you think about your grandparents or your parents that are gone, to actually searching for 7th, 8th, 9th, great grandparents, where they from, and getting to know them. How important is that for your own
I think
being?
It's great because they are part of who we are.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Right, they wouldn't be here, and they're literally in our blood.
Right.
Like when I call in the corners, like north and south and east and west. West is the water, it's emotions. It's also the mists of the ancestors. It's in our blood. Like, it's part of who we are, so we can go there. And now we could go there so easy with like Ancestry.com and 23andMe. You go way back, and I'm looking. I was like, I am from every country on
Pretty
the
much,
planet.
yeah. I'm a mutt.
I am such a mutt. I'm from 902 places.
Right.
Every place that even hates each other. I'm from each of those places. So no, it's great, and you're super intuitive. You know that. You will feel these places.
Yeah.
So go when you're on a street into a thing, feel the cobblestone beneath your feet, feel the buildings and everything that you go in. Take that time to quiet yourself, and you will, and ask your ancestors to guide you.
See, that's what I think, especially now with the veil being thinner. Because I've been really doing research on Ancestry.com. Hey. I've been doing this for about 30 some years.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time. And I have found some amazing things, where finding where they're from. Like a lot of them were born in Vienna, some in Czechoslovakia. This is just one side. I mean, like you said, we have mutts from every country. Yeah. So, but this is just, my mom and I had wanted to do this before she passed away, or years before, and so unfortunately she didn't get to go, and this is why I think I'm going to take a little bit of ash with me. And
I was to say, take her with you. Yeah.
And leave
I take
some
my
ash
mama
there.
everywhere.
Do you? Oh, is that that's what I want to get something, so at least I can take some with her and not get in trouble.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to do that now. They make all sorts of jewelry for it and little things to put.
So going into potentially castles, old churches, And we're going to come back over to America and talk about going into some of these locations that you go into. I was telling you in Budapest that we're going to go to where Vlad Dracula was jailed for 14 years.
Wow.
I didn't even know it until I started looking for things to do. How do I protect myself?
Okay.
First
off, no. Again, because there's lots of spirits. I mean, we have spirits, but they have lots of spirits.
And
They've
they're
got old
old.
spirits. The first thing to know is attitude. Is like know that this is our realm of existence.
Right.
We living human beings, 3-dimensional, gravity-ridden.
Right.
Well, nothing solid, but 7th grade science, nothing solid. But this is our realm. They really do have to play by our rules. So people don't know that though, so they give their power. If you walk into a spooky haunted house or you see people get possessed all over, unless it's me and I know what I'm doing, people have allowed that to happen. Because they didn't know better.
Right.
Just claim your power. This is you are not, if something negative comes in, just go, you are not welcome here. Literally in the name of whatever you believe in the name of God, in the name of your cat, in the name of your designer handbag. It's like, say it with confidence, say it with, you don't want to add anger and you don't want to add fear because a dark spirit wants you to get angry or fearful. Be like a parent or a teacher, like, nope, my house, my body, you can't come here. Now, if it feels neutral or good, talk to it. Talk to it. Don't be afraid to talk to it. Again, give it boundaries if you need it. But the other thing to do is have some sort of, who are you going to call, what you going to call if you do get scared. Ghostbusters. Work with it. I wear protective sigils a lot. Helm of Ah, which is a rune. It's an 8-sided cross, is my favorite protective sigil. It's literally sacred geometry. It's the 8-sided cross with little half tridents on it and little lines. Negative energy goes in and just splashes it. I always wear a little pendant. You could draw it and put it in your pocket.
It's like a electric, one of those pods, where they stick. Yeah.
And it's just an ancient rune. I always wear one of those, but work within your belief system. If it's a cross or a Star of David or an Ankh or whatever that is, I'll work with all of them. But the other place to remember to close is right behind your head.
Why is that?
That is the biggest portal, right where your head and neck go together. When you go up and down, it goes in and out. That is actually the biggest portal on our body. This whole area is our crown of illumination. Our 5 senses are here. We know that. Sound, we know that. And our third eye, our 6th sense, right here.
Right.
We want this one open so we could see those spirits. But back here, we want to close that. That's why when you pray, whatever you're praying to, you bow your head to open that up for God, for spirit.
Wow.
But when you're
Did not
on
know
something
that.
where you're not in control, I will use different oils and magical oils, but even not olive oil will even work. But if you don't have oil, just like rub it. I'm just closing this down. This I'm opening up. I want to see and sense and know. This I'm shutting down. Nobody gets to come in. Because so often when somebody literally we use terms like monkey on my back, I've got an attachment on my back, I feel it's because it comes in right here.
And I think that's important because like I said, I'm going to go in some places like having Vlad the
Impaler.
The Impaler being
and if you go to that scary forest, any of those places,
all those
places. I did England last year and Ireland, and lots of fairies, oh my God, the fairies literally flip. And it was a Game of Thrones tour I was leading.
Oh, that's cool.
So I got to go into like castles from 1200.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's a dream
we did
of mine.
the lifting of the veil. We did seances and beautiful rituals. And the coolest thing, I got to go to a literal fairy farm, an organic farmer, like straight out of Central Casting, and he had all the billions of sheep you need and the beautiful horses and the cows, and he had real fairy mounds which are ancient, and they take their face seriously. Like if the government is building a road and there's a fairy mound, they will go around it.
The government will?
The government will. They have a scarier version of fairies than we do.
I was going to say,
they will drive around it. And put the freeway around it, but you can't enter a fairy mound or a fairy fort without permission. But he was this organic. He had this thing. There was a fairy tree people hung things on, so we were traunching through it. It had been rainy and misty, everything perfect. And then there was this fairy tree we got to go through. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. I went in and it was literally like I was on a psychedelic trip. I'm like, this is, wow. And then I went out, and before we went to the fairy mound, with permission, we gave them gifts of like grass and flowers. But anyway, in gratitude, I looked ahead of me was a fairy tree with about the other 15 people. On the right of me was this beautiful stallion on my right. On the left was this funny black and white cow. I'm like, I'm in the fields of Ireland with people, horse, cow. I'm like, I am so lucky. I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes, and the people were gone.
Oh.
And the horse was on my left, and the cow was on my right. They hadn't moved. The fairies had literally flipped me around 180 degrees without me knowing it or moving my feet. I'm like, whew, that's such a fairy thing to do. You got to be respectful there. And it was so magic.
So let me ask you this real quick. In Ireland, we talk about fairies. And yeah, I was wondering because, we see like Peter Pan, the fairy, they're, these powerful but yet small, sometimes have an attitude.
They can be mischievous.
Yeah, but fairies and leprechauns, because we've heard leprechauns in Ireland. Are leprechauns as real as the fairies are?
I think they all are.
Or are they kind of a different type of fairy?
I think I don't know if they're gnomes, leprechauns. I don't know enough, but all these beautiful creatures like cryptids, like Bigfoot, they're otherworldly beasts, and they've been around forever.
Yeah.
And we right now, they're making not a comeback. They've always been here, but more and more people are seeing them, like people who aren't even from our mystical, weird world that we live in. Right. I know a friend of mine, Chris Fleming. He's a well-known medium. He's on TV and a dear friend, but he's not into the magical art. He's a great medium, but he's like, and he does a show that shoots in Europe. He's like, Patti, I saw a gnome. They're real. I'm like, yeah, they're real, because we need to put our focus back on Earth, because they're going, you guys have to take care of our planet. So people are seeing fairies again. They are seeing gnomes and elves and leprechauns. I do a lot of people who want money magic. I do a lot of leprechaun magic because they like money for money's sake. We have such weird attitudes about working and this and money's evil and all this ridiculous made up stuff. Leprechauns don't have that. So add a little leprechaun into your life and the money changes.
And now we always hear the association with a pot of gold with the leprechauns.
Yeah, pot of gold. And when I have people create their own little leprechaun money pot, which for me is just an envelope. It could be a little box or a big box or a shoe box. Start throwing money in. And what I tell people to do, but often at first and then less, I want you to take that money, even if there's $3 bills and 4 quarters, throw it on the floor, roll around on the floor. Money's easy. Money comes to me easy. Money's fun. Or roll around on their bed, and all of a sudden you're going to have all the money you want. It just grows because you're changing our attitude about it. Now I've been doing it for so long. Whatever my leprechaun money pot envelope, I have whatever I need. If it's a few $100s, or last year it was like, what do you mean termites have eaten our entire back deck? I need $6,000.
You're like, well,
it's in my leprechaun money pot. Because we change our attitude, which is it's 1/3 psychology, 1/3 the magic, 1/3 the action that we take. So we're taking the action by money easy, money fun, money comes to me. We've created this leprechaun magical thing, and we put money on it. It works.
So this time of year, I mean, since we are in the Halloween season, do you feel like this is a perfect time? I mean, I think any time's a perfect time to start the money pots or celebrating your ancestors. But do you think this time of year, I mean, we have 3 weeks, I think. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
And actually this whole going into the darker season means go inside. Like in the pagan wheel of the year, we're going into the harvest now, and now we're going into the depths of Yule. When you do that inner reflection, and whether you're by the fireplace telling stories of old how you do it, versus going into spring and summer when it's let's dance around a maypole and let's fertility and love and dance and music. Now it's the end time to do some self-reflection and ancestor work. Now this is what we are literally supposed to be doing. It's called going under the mound, like in the fairy mound. So it's a perfect time to bring some magic and some awareness. Whatever your belief system, we are on this beautiful planet. We are part of it. That's why I do very much elemental magic. I think what people need more than anything right now, along with fairies and leprechauns and is dragons.
I remember you gave me a dragon.
Yeah. And do you feed it?
I not feed. I've been like, was it feed it or water? I do water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah.
The bigger you make it, the bigger it'll get. Like I told you,
Put it in a bathtub. No, just kidding.
put it in the bathtub. But I put a little, like a lid of a little water bottle is perfect. Every day, if you talk to it, again, it's mind, body, spirit, and it's creation working dispatch. Like, okay, I need more energy today. Oh, take away a headache. Oh, wait, I need some more clients. Whatever that is, I need to get this bill to pass so I can do my show. Whatever that is, they do it. They're worker bees. You've created a fetish. So again, if you yeah.
I like a fetish.
I like a fetish. Tickle my foot fetish. No, a fetish is a real living entity out of an inanimate object, which is
wow.
Which is called a golem in Hebrew, called a tulpa, called a servitor. Every culture has. We create spirits all the time. Oh, that's my lucky money tree. Oh, that's my rub the Buddhist belly. That's my cat in the Asian store. We create spirits, spirit of success, spirit of struggle, spirit of whatever that is. Spirit is a way of being, so why not create a dragon spirit who lives at the crossroads? Remember, dragons can fly between heaven and earth, do a whole lot more than just heavenly beings, because they live in our realm too.
Because I always say that human beings are very creative. I mean, we've probably from day one. I know you are. I know I am. I have dreams. I have visions, but I mostly dream or visions about things that I've seen or things I've watched on television. But to go back 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years to some of these mythical creatures, you wonder, you're like, how could they just make that up? Because there's no bicycles, there's no cars, there's no cell phones, so it's other than dinosaurs. There was no creatures of that kind, at least to just make that up and everybody believe it in different cultures all around the world.
Yeah.
So what is your thought on, like the Greek gods, Thor, the goddesses and the thunders and the chariots and all,
Yeah, it's all real. It's all part. I mean, we could go way down a rabbit hole. The Nephilim, the Anunnaki, the this and that, all of that. It's like, I think it's all real.
Same here.
I think it's all real. And again, if you put these cultures and why does everybody have this kind of a creature and this kind of a god and this kind of deity? But why it's gotten so weird in our modern times is we've put all the focus on just our logical left brain. They started in like the 40s, 50s, and the industrial age, all that kind of stuff. It's your creativity and your magic and your spirituality didn't matter. It's 1 + 1 = 2, and that's all you need. And that's not all you need. We have to have the magic. I mean, my best story is my local Hollywood elementary school, Cherimoya School. LAUSD, budget cuts, no money. So they took out all the creative classes. All they had was reading, writing, arithmetic, let's say that. And the people from the hills could not send their children there because it was the lowest 10% of schools.
Wow.
Lowest 10%. So you had to go to private school. My neighborhood rebels against that. We're like, no, we want our kids to go to an urban school, to go with everybody, not a class thing. So being part of the Hollywood Arts Council, we brought in artists, both in class and after school, to teach them dance and photography and improv classes and gardening and right brain things. It is now a school of excellence. They did not, the math scores went up, reading and writing, and they didn't change teachers. They allowed the kids to dance between logic and intuition, left brain knowledge and this right brain knowing. And we have to have that balance, and you see it happening because the world is scary. So we're coming back to I need to know there's something more out there.
No, for sure. And, where I grew up, it was that, reading, writing, arithmetic type of thing, in Kansas. And, I feel the cowboy era, meaning of, the old Wild Wild West is over because it was pretty much the basics of what just needed to get by and help in the fields later. So nothing to take away from, creating and building, but I think letting your kids have the freedom of creativity is needed.
And having those imaginary friends and being okay that some of the imaginary friends aren't imaginary. I knew mine weren't, but we've put so much focus on our Western, modern, non-mystical society. We've taken it all out, and it's hurt. the balance got off. So, and now I give what I think why the paranormal is bigger and bigger, and we know it is, like your world, my world,
Right.
because again, the world's scary. The world's always been scary, but now it's scary 24/7 bombardment. So traditionally, people would go back to religion, go back to church or temple. That's not keeping up for everybody.
Right.
So therefore, alternative religions, New Age, paganism, witchcraft is the largest growing religion in America. But there's still people. I don't want religion, and I don't even want spirituality. I just want to know there's something more than I see on that TV every night. If we get
I
blown up
know.
by whoever, they're becoming paranormal investigators. They just want to know there's something more if they do. And then they go and oh my gosh, this is real. And a lot of times they will backdoor into a spirituality to help navigate.
And we've talked about this before about, the witchcraft and considering yourself witches. In fact, was it last week or week before, I found out that one of my great, again, through my ancestry,
Yay.
great grandfathers was Thomas Chandler, who was one of the gentlemen that accused at the witch, not it was in Andover, not Salem, but at Andover, accused a fortune teller, and end up getting this guy. It was a guy impaled. So it's one of those you're excited, but then you're like, oh my gosh, that's kind of a, kind of a history that's very touchy when it comes to witchcraft. But why? Again, we've talked about this before, but why is witchcraft? Because look at you. You're such an amazing lady. Your energy. You're positive. You do good. Why do why does witchcraft get such a bad rap especially Christianity?
Because it's empowering.
They
Because
don't
it's
want to
empowering.
they don't want to empower
A
you.
lot of, especially Christianity, but a lot of religions want to control you. They want to be controlled. It's not what feels right in your heart. It's because we said so. Do what you want. We say, well, you decide if it's right or wrong or good or bad, using virtue, ethics, integrity, moral code. I wouldn't do what I do if I didn't have a strong moral code, ethics, but they want to do what we say because they want to be sheep. I don't want to be a sheep. I don't want to be a sheep. I don't want. Yeah. So it's scary. That's why Christianity took like reincarnation out in the 1500s. They just did all this stuff that wasn't Christ's teaching at all.
They believed in reincarnation up till the 1500s.
There's a million things. But again, it wasn't Christ's teaching per se.
Right.
And said that's so many layers down anyway. They just wanted to control people. That's it. People like to control people, and they don't want you empowered. The witchcraft, or many new versions thereof, it's empowering. You don't like water running downhill, build a dam. Build a dam with integrity. Like, to me, perfect witchcraft is like water's on the mountain. It runs down the village. And the village thrives because you have water. And I've got a house over here on the side. Witchcraft would be, I'm going to build a dam and I'm going to take some of that water and I'm going to have great water features. But if I took all that water and then the village doesn't get it, my karma will hit. They'll come and kill me or they'll die or something. If I take whatever water I need and make sure they have everything they need, that's positive magic.
Right.
That's it. That's what it's like. We will take fate into our own hands. And shift it, but there is a cost, and you have to know what you're doing, because cause and effect, action and reaction of science is karma in the Eastern and whatever else you want to call it in this.
Is voodoo and magic and witchcraft, how similar and how different is it?
They're similar in a lot of ways and they're different in a lot of ways. Voodoo is a religion. Voodoo is a religion. Hoodoo is a practice. Witch can be, I'm witch, like, oh, I'm Wiccan, or I'm Thelemic, or I'm ceremonial.
Right.
It could be a religion. Okay, I have a goddess-based religion. I follow the wheel of the year. Or it can just be a practice. I practice the craft of witchcraft. I know people who go, I am a Christian witch. I believe everything that goes with Christianity, but I also will take fate in my hand and do the craft. So again, hoodoo, voodoo is sort of like that. They have a lot of similarities because they work with elements, and they work with elements and the strength of earth and birds and this. Different. I don't know enough about voodoo hoodoo to talk about why you kill chickens, because I'm not going to kill a chicken.
Yeah,
That doesn't work for me. In my belief system, nobody has to sacrifice anything or anybody anymore, or doesn't ever
Right.
have to.
Right.
I have done fine without it. I will sacrifice a dollar bill on occasion and burn the hell out of it. That's my money spell. But no animals. No animal. I don't even kill ants. It kills me to like, go away, please. I
Yeah,
will
because
take-
if you think about it, you go way back in history. There's been even Christianity and many other religions that sacrifice of something. Back down in South America,
Yeah,
they sacrifice people.
Yes, there's lots of people thrown into volcanoes all over the world.
Yeah,
Lots of people in virgin sacrifice. Why is a virgin better? I don't know.
Yeah, I never understood
I,
why. Who thought that up, and
I
then
don't
who was the
know.
first person that says, "I'll do it"? I mean,
Right. I will go with honor. No.
yeah.
I don't know why, but and voodoo and hoodoo is it's a mix of African religion, Catholicism,
Right.
and witchcraft, and just mountain magic. So, again, we take and we create stew.
Have you ever been to Africa?
I haven't.
Because I would love to see
I would
you.
I would love to.
I would love to go too, but I would love to see you there and see what, because that's kind of the motherland to where it seems like it leads back to at least Africa for the beginnings
The
of
beginnings
who we are.
of time. Yeah, I would love to go. The coolest magical places I've been are Greece. Again,
I wanna go there.
It
I
goes
haven't
into
been.
those temples. It's like you feel it. You know where they're going to worship and create
Right.
these deities, whether they are not.
Right.
It's super magical. Australia is super magical, again, because there's something about them just being so far off and having their own world. And then again, Ireland was pretty crazy good. But every place has its own magic.
Yeah. I can't wait to travel more. For a while I've just been so busy, but now I want to travel to these places that history was made.
I know.
Like Machu Picchu.
Yes,
and,
that's what I would really like to go.
you haven't been there either.
No, I
Wow.
haven't. There's so many places I haven't been.
Yeah.
No, I studied like Peruvian magic for a while, and I would love to go to some of those very jaguar, way elemental. You don't have fancy crystals, you have rocks, and you create your mesa. It's like it's good.
Well, Anthony Huff in the chat room says, happy birthday, Patty. And he goes, how old is Patty today? I was like we said earlier, 22.
22 or 290 in vampire years.
And by the way, thank you for your earlier comment about saying that on my show, I have a lot of different types of shows, from Egypt to witchcraft. And it's because of what interests me. My ADD won't let me focus just on one thing. So it's whatever really interests me and the people I connect with. So thank you for noticing that. I appreciate that. Patty has been on many, many times
I love it.
on the show. In fact, I did my first paranormal conference called Parapod in April. And we plan on doing season 2 of it coming up next year. Just haven't got a date yet. But Patty was there and she did a seance. Also, the night before the conference, we were at Mentryville.
Yes.
Which is a old haunted town. I lived there for 5 years and I didn't even know about it. And so a lot of the buildings were moved there, but it's an old town this guy was the first to discover, or not discover oil, but to put like an oil well in the western states. So going into these homes and having a lot of different energies, because there was a lot of people going in and out of these houses. How does that distract, as a medium, how does that distract other people's energies, good, bad, of coming into these haunted houses, spaces with so much energy coming in and out.
The energy is okay. I do believe a space could be perhaps overused. I sometimes worry, is that ghost abuse? They have a
Right.
paranormal team
Right.
there every single night. Those ghosts are like, go away. I don't want your
like,
REM
"Let me
pod. I
sleep."
don't want your cat balls. I don't. Just leave us alone. Now stop
Right.
asking me when I died.
Right. Can I just leave a note?
Just leave a note. But no, but to me, I think a lot, they feed on our energy and they like it mostly. I mean, I can't, it's like, so long as you go in with respect. To me, the only time I've ever gotten in trouble seeing people is when somebody goes in with lack of respect. That's when people catch on fire. That's when I get my ribs broken. That's, but if you go in with respect, they want a voice too. They
Right.
really do. Again, just don't overuse it. Don't bombard them. And I'm going to sneeze. Chew.
I made the noise for you.
Thank you.
You're
That was
welcome.
good. It's like I threw my voice. So, I think as a rule, they're kind of good. So long as it's how you go in. If you go in there, hey, really? Who wants to-"
Challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
challenging.
Yeah.
That usually don't get the best stuff anyway.
And while you were there, because they have an old barn, they have a house, they have a schoolhouse, and they have an old movie set from the Green Acres. If people remember what Green Acres, it was a TV series way back in the day.
Green Acres is a place
Groovy. Boom, boom, boom. So when you first stepped on property, because I think you were at Mentryville, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks before
Yeah, we were
that.
just there. We had done, Linda the Ghost Hunter and I had just done it. Yeah.
So you got introduced to some of these spirits. Now, when you go back into the same spirits, do these spirits recognize you?
Oftentimes they do.
Because I was wondering if, since you were a connector, I was wondering if they actually remember.
Yeah, oftentimes they do. And it's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah, that would be cool.
I remember there was nothing demonic. Demons get way too much credit to me. It's like, no, it's just a cranky ghost. Really, it's not a demon. You'd know it was a demon. There was one cranky one who recognized me, but it was good. It was like the second time back was like,
He's like,
all
"Oh,
right,
Patty."
you're okay. Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, he do this again. But they do recognize you, and sometimes they will talk more that once they've gotten used to you, just like when you meet somebody by your second meeting, you be
Open
more
up
of
a little
yourself.
more.
More of yourself, yeah.
And how many spirits did you feel in Mentryville?
I mostly spent the time in the main house.
Right.
All the times that I've done it, and I remember kind of 3 basic spirits. The man could be cranky or not, and a female and a child, actually, a child that ran a lot. I don't know if they died as a child there, or they just showing themselves as such, or they just went to go. It's a fun place to hide out. So other ones come and go because I think spirits are there all the time.
Right.
I really didn't spend time in the barn, and the schoolhouse that had a whole different energy.
Like a heavier or?
Heavier. It was a little bit heavier. Which is I don't remember why or odd why. Not overly bad. Not like we're torturing children in the corner. or
Right,
anything.
right. Well, I'm sure back then though they
probably
did. Have
did. They
corporal
slept you with it.
punishment. Yeah, they
Yeah.
like smack them around like
So-
they used to.
So I don't remember what spirits were there. Again, it's hard for me to remember stuff like whether it's a seance, whether it's investigation, because I
Right.
kind of go into trance state. Or like 10 minutes later, somebody, when my mother told you that, it's like, I don't remember. It's kind of like remembering a dream that you can't remember
Right,
sometimes.
right.
So I have to consciously go. When I'm in my left logical brain of things, asking questions and talking to spirits, I have to kind of mark that in my head. Otherwise, it's like, what'd you do? I don't know.
I think Shar or Margolis said the same thing.
Yeah.
She says she never remembers a reading.
Yeah, it's weird. You just, because it's like you're just channeling through. It's just going through you. It's coming out.
So we went through an actual house that had paranormal activity. This time of year, of course, we have all these, haunted houses and haunted hayfields, and a lot of them are probably on property that may not have any spirits, or maybe if we do, there are, we don't see or feel their energy.
Yeah.
So, what advice can you give people that? Because I know I don't know if they still do, but at the Queen Mary, they did have haunted house walkthroughs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a known,
really haunted place.
really haunted place. But again, you're talking about respect, but a lot of these kids going in just they want to be scared. They're not thinking about I want to go in and respect these spirits. People that are listening today or on our podcast later, what advice can you give them to prepare?
Okay, so yeah, and even I remember Queen Mary. I don't know since they've reopened, but they used to have plus they have that haunted
I went through
nights
and it was
thing,
freaky.
the crazy haunted stuff. They have
Yeah.
one that was like a real ghost tour where they talked about the ghost, and one was where they jump out and scare you.
Right, I did that one.
You did that one where
Yeah.
they jump out and scare you. And spirits will mess things up. Almost any place that we have a fake haunted house, the real stuff happens
Right.
too. Again, I still think everybody protection techniques. Again, whether you shut down this
right,
down,
right.
and when you leave. Just again, intent is everything. Going, thank you, spirits. I felt you. I didn't feel you. I
Stay
saw
here.
you. Stay here. When you're getting into your car, your bus, or your Uber home, I will often light a little Palo Santo. I'm not a sage girl, or just like ground your feet on the ground. I am just letting this go. You are great. You stay here. I'm going home now. That's it. Intent and thing. And I shut this down. Because you want it this open. You want to feel the stuff. You want a sense. Queen Mary's
Right.
great. I grew up in the area, so my high school prom was on the Queen
Oh,
Mary.
really?
Yeah.
Did you see anything?
Yes, I remember during my high school prom, because I've always been me. I snuck away, and I got down to it was easier to get into way back
pool?
then, where the pool was, that empty indoor pool. I
Yeah.
saw the little girl.
Oh, really?
I saw the little girl in high school. I was 16. I wasn't even 17 years old. So I saw her, and it was this is great. The last time I was there was with my YouTube guys, Elton and Corey, the overnight.
Right.
We had the entire ship to ourselves, which is a trip.
How'd you get that?
They're YouTube.
Who do I have to sleep with to go?
They have, as a rule, it's so funny. They have like bigger budgets than the network.
That's funny.
Like Travel Channel, stuffs you on Southwest, and they're flying me private. It's like this is switched somehow.
Which is honestly, it is
good. True. It is
good.
100% true. Yeah, we've had aircraft carriers to ourselves. We've had
Wow.
But yeah, we had the most haunted room, which I never remember the number of Queen Mary, which is reopened again.
Right.
That place is crazy because
Yeah.
it's on water, so that's going to increase everything. Right. Even Mentryville, that little stream going down.
Right, and when we were there, it was actually flowing,
yes,
which
it
is
was
rare
flowing.
for.
That stream is there. Water is a conduit. Water connects. Again, like energy, just like the haunted house, the lights flash and things. Water is a conduit for it.
So, I hear this all the time, and I've never really understood this. Like you said, this is our realm. Mm-hmm. We kind of can't control this, and we've heard this many times. Oh, just tell the spirit to go to the light. I'm like, if it was that easy, then we wouldn't have any spirits left on this planet. So, is that true?
My thoughts on this is people who think that because there's ghosts there that they're stuck. They're not stuck. They're hanging out because they can.
And they want to.
They want to. Whether it's like fun ghosts hanging from the chandelier at the Roosevelt because they got an Oscar there, or even some of that are in the darker places. The prison. They spent 50 years in the prison. It's what they know.
Right.
There are some places that spirits are stuck. The Cecil Hotel, there is some created character it affects living people once you want to kill yourself, and it has spirits that are stuck there. But most ghosts hang out because they can. If there's no time and space, they could be at their pearly gates, they could be reincarnated and watching the grandkids and hanging out at their favorite spot. And they're not stuck. You do occasionally get the ones that are like, I call them the shades, the ones that, they do need to cross over. And
the shades, I don't know that one.
I call them shades. They're the ones who maybe they didn't know they died or died unexpectedly, or it wasn't in the main scheme of things. And they're the ones that are kind of, and I have done the go to the light. It's.
But does that work really?
It has. I've done it. I've always done it in a group, and how to do it if you want to try it. How it works for me. There's many different ways. Is I have everybody create light at their heart, because we know heart light's the best. Mm-hmm. Like picture this white gold pumping light, and then stand in a circle if you can. I've done it at a seance, and I've done it at investigate. And then everybody pump that light to the center of the room. and you will kind of feel it, even though feel it. And then I have them, okay, picture that just turning into like a beam of light, like beam me up, Scotty, like Star Trek. And then the spirit, and some people will see it, some people won't. You invite them into the light. You can't push them. But I've seen it like, okay, it's okay. You're okay. You will get, your family will be there, whatever, your heaven, whatever that is, will be there. And you feel the second they go through, everybody at the same time will go like this. So it really does work. It really, really does work. I don't know how easy it is. I've done it all by myself.
Right.
But if it's a spirit that's stuck, it's like you're opening, you're helping create a door and opening the door from love, from heart light.
What's the movie with Patrick Swayze?
Ghost.
So in Ghost, if you haven't seen Ghost, I've heard that Ghost, the movie, was probably one of the closest that is really depicts what the spirits are. Patrick Swayze at the beginning really didn't know he was dead. But there was a gentleman that taught him how to kick the can. So if a ghost doesn't know time, because, it's in the spirit world, can ghost become more sophisticated or more higher level the longer they're spirits, if there's not really considered a time? I
think so. Again, it's a lot for our little human brains, or my little human brain.
Because we're like, I don't understand.
But I think spirits are learning. Again, their energy, we're energy. Again, nothing solid.
Right.
But I think they're learning with all our fancy new ghost equipment and stuff. They're learning to use it. They're learning to make plain old cell phones without an app work for them.
Right.
They're learning all this stuff. So I think just like we learn on this side of the veil, they learn on that side of the veil. They really do. I think they do. And I don't think most are stuck. You really know when they are being held down. Like, I think at the Black Dahlia house, spirits are stuck. The Cecil Hotel spirits are stuck. Most places, they're just hanging.
Well, I have to say, I can't believe it's already 50 minutes. But Patti, I love you, and I love your energy. I love just your spirit. Everybody that I know in this industry, you can mention a name, and Patti's name. I have to say, one person I've not heard said, "Oh, I don't like her."
You are so sweet.
So, I appreciate you being for who you are, and happy birthday.
Thank you. I got cookies.
Yes,
Tony
boo
got me
cookies.
Boo cookie. I got ghosts. I'm gonna eat ghosts.
We're gonna eat
Does
some
that
ghosts.
make me cannibalistic? I don't
No.
Okay.
But thank you. And so what's coming up for you? Because you have
all sorts of things.
All kinds of stuff.
Yes. This week, next week, I'm leaving for Dallas, Texas area. I'm going to do the Haunted Hill House, which is supposed to be really, really haunted, with my Ghost Hunter girls, which is one of my paraflick. We're doing that. And then I'm going to spend Halloween in New Orleans, of course, for the Vampire Ball.
Wow.
And then I'm headed to Mid-Michigan for Mid-Michigan Paracon, which is my first time there. It's a good one. And then I'm going right to Tasmania.
That'll be great. Now Tasmania is down towards New Zealand.
Yeah, down
in
Australia.
Australia.
It's the bottom part of Australia Island. I had no idea. I had to look it up. I'm like,
Tasmanian devil.
Tasmanian. I know, that's all I knew. That's all I knew from Tasmania. But so all sorts of things. So just go, if you want to find me, just go to my website, which you can get all my legitimate social medias from there.
Do you still do readings and all?
I do. I still work with people all the time. I
didn't know if you had time as much as you travel.
Not as much time as I would, but I do. Like, actually, I had to move somebody today because my schedule had changed.
Yeah.
But like yesterday, I filmed my friend Patti Stanger's new TV show. But before
Patti's
that,
new TV show. Oh,
yes,
nice.
she does. It's a matchmaking show.
Oh, wow.
It's on CW.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Patti Stanger.
Yeah, she's. We had so much fun. Oh my gosh. So I had to move somebody, but like yesterday, before I even went, I saw two. It's still my passion. Both my school, teaching people. Again, empowering people through whatever. My 20 teachers are all different belief systems, but they're all empowering. I have 20 teachers now in my school, international school, and it's cheap, starting at like $10 a month.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, a class runs like $20, $25. You want to take a class for $10 a month, you get a free class. we didn't want nobody to not be able to afford to not take a paranormal investigation class with Stefan Brigatti, or mediumship development with me, or astrology with somebody who knows astrology better than I do. It's like really good teachers. We have even a cryptid person. We have for Sebastian, my vampire teacher. We have a werewolf teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we do. And he doesn't
Werewolf. Werewolf, yeah.
Werewolf. He teaches that animalistic. He's actually a professor at University of Washington. Denny Sargent writes lots of books. It's the magic of, it's kind of a witchcrafty magic of howling at the moon. And we all should howl at the moon on a regular basis.
I even got her a card that
this is how much this man knows me. This
wolf
is amazing.
howling.
Yes.
She's going to have a howl of a good time.
I am.
Ooh. Well, thank you so much. And I can't wait to have you back and have you at Parapod. Hopefully it'll fit into your busy schedule.
Always. And I must say, I do practically Paracons for a living. Yours was one of the most organized, most fun, most magical ones ever. And that's saying a lot.
That's
saying a lot.
I take that, and I never was good with a compliment, but I'll take that, and I will, because I want to keep making it better and bigger, and hopefully everybody will come on board again.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of Truth Be Told once again on Friday the 13th. And it's Patty's birthday, so go on her social media and wish her a happy birthday and share this show, and we can celebrate the Halloween season together. But until next time, I'm Tony Sweet. Truth Be Told, have a good one, and we'll see you real soon next week. This has been another episode of Truth Be Told. Thank you so much for watching. Recorded live at UBN Go Studios in Burbank, California. Join us on social media. Facebook, Truth Be Told Radio. Instagram, Truth Be Told Paranormal. Go to Truth Be Told Worldwide for more information on upcoming shows.